For me here.
They grew up together. They attended the same schools, played the same sports, and now they even teach together. You're listening to DC and DH on the D&D Dynamite 80s podcast.
All righty, guys. Welcome into another podcast that we have. Very special guest tonight. DH is not with us. He may jump on. He said that he was going to do his best to get back on tonight if he could. But we're going to go ahead and we're joined by a special guest, Marco Lago out of Seattle, Washington area. And man, does he have a lot on his plate. He's bass player for Dr. Crue, and I think he's representing them tonight a little bit there. Hysteria, and I think I've got this right, Hair Nation. It's an 80s tribute to hair rock bands.
Yeah.
How are you, Marco?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. No, I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, you're right. It definitely keeps pretty busy schedule. And it's interesting because Hair Nation, it was actually a former band of mine.
Okay.
The guys in the Def Leppard tribute, we have kind of another hair rock tribute. It's called Rock Shop.
Okay.
So that's that three bunch. And then recently a new band of mine, which I'm the lead singer in, is a Jane's Addiction tribute called Nothing Shocking.
Okay.
So yeah, and maintain a full-time job.
Yeah. So you have zero extra time.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me ask, starting out with this right here. How did the idea come about to try to take on all that?
Well, initially I met up with the Def Leppard guys. This is like going on 8 years or so now. And they were kind of an up-and-coming one-band tribute. And at that point, I was in the band you had mentioned earlier, Hair Nation, just kind of cutting my teeth on doing bass for hair rock music kind of across the board. They were looking for a bass player. I auditioned, got in, and then the three of us, the lead guitarist, the singer, and myself, kind of became the core unit of that band. And then we decided after a few years, hey, let's take a stab. We all love Motley Crue. Let's put the same high quality presentation, musicianship, and outfits, all of it, stage show, into a Motley Crue setting. And so we got a killer drummer. The guy, I mean, oh man, he's like Tommy Lee's brother. The guy.
Yes.
And so anyway, yeah, that band now formed it's about 6 years old now, and got to the point where we were staying pretty much within the Seattle area and had grown regionally. And now we're going to shows this year we're going up to Canada, Alaska, and then we've got a couple of shows down in Oregon.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm going to get into that here in just a second, the popularity of this stuff, but it just totally blows me away. We've done several tribute band guests, and it is just unreal. The audience just craves it, don't they? They crave that music.
Well, they love the 80s, kind of regardless who it is, but then if you take it to that next level, where you have authentic outfits, stage show, and the musicianship is top notch. For me, as the Nikki Sixx in Dr. Crue, I mean, all of a sudden I become the guy.
Yeah.
And people just lose it. It's great fun to watch.
Yeah. Let me ask this as well. Have you heard of any of the performers that you do their covers? Have they seen you in person or maybe on video?
You always wonder. I don't know that. I mean, certainly we haven't seen any at shows. We would probably lose it. No, it would be great fun. I wouldn't be surprised if they've heard or maybe seen us via video, Facebook,
Sure.
that kind of thing. But there are a fair amount of Motley Crue tributes around,
Mm-hmm.
and not as many with the Def Leppard. And as far as like the Jane's Addiction, there are like none anywhere.
Right. Right.
But we always wonder for sure.
Yeah.
And it would be just an absolute hoot to meet the guys. We're a bunch of us are going to go see that stadium tour this fall, which has both Leopard and Crue on it.
Yes. Yes.
So it's kind of a double whammy there.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to stop in Nashville as well for that. Let me lead into the next one with that. If you had this may be tough for you to answer, and I get it. Who would be one of the performers that you would want to perform with?
Oh man.
Because I know you do so many different ones in all your shows.
Right.
That just would interest me to kind of know what would be one of your top favorites.
Yeah, man. Well, the thing is, between Motley Crue and Def Leppard and Jane's Addiction, I mean, it's like apples, oranges, and tomatoes.
Right.
I mean, it just, wow, that is a tough one because each one of them, I would love to meet, or I mean, if one were to join us on stage,
yeah,
it would be phenomenal. But
yeah,
in my heart of hearts, there's just no way to like pin it down to one.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. And here along the way, as I've read about some of the tribute bands and things like this, some of them have lucked up and had some of those guys perform with them.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Let me ask this as well. And we kind of touched on it just a tad. Why in the world is this 80s thing? Why is it staying around so much? Even with younger people, we're high school teachers, and we try to play a little of that here and there, like in our classrooms at times. And kids know some of that, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah, that's called good parenting.
That's right. That's right.
No, it's well, you think about it. I mean, the 60s was a fantastic decade for music. The 70s was fantastic. The 80s just had that something, I guess there can be an argument made for any of the decades. But
sure,
I think,
sure.
Arguably speaking, the 80s was probably the greatest in terms of the variety and the diversity of what was out. I mean, you had everything from hair rock to new wave to fantastic R&B, soul. I mean, you had rap came out.
A lot of genres, absolutely.
Country. I mean, it was seriously like every genre had amazing stuff. And you could listen to the radio station at any point during that time and you would hear just one hit after another. And I think that music still resonates with people today because it's like feel good time, like let's party music. Yeah.
From time to time, I'll also maybe at the end of a class or something show part of like a little like one of the MTV music videos or something, and kids are like, because MTV is different for them now than what that was, obviously. And I said, y'all got to remember that MTV was starting out at that time. And these performers were kind of like jockeying to see who could make the best little story. Some of them where you wouldn't forget them, you wouldn't forget their song.
Oh, sure.
And they actually put a lot of effort into that stuff, and it's just amazing to see how kids kind of react to that stuff.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, and it's real melodic and catchy, and it's easy to sing along to. And again, you think about it. If the parents are playing that stuff down the road, singing along, having a good time, well, the kids are going to catch on.
Kind of pick on to it, yeah.
It's pretty cool to see a younger demographic coming out to these shows. One recently we had down in Oregon, and the stage manager guy, he was like, oh my God, there's this 21-year-old girl in front of the stage, and she is mouthing every lyric. Your guys' stuff. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. And like I said, I've asked that of several performers, and it's interesting. You get different viewpoints on it, and but they all kind of start still circling around to it's a music that you don't forget that's fun.
Right.
Kind of like you touched on as well. Like that's pretty much what all, pretty much any of them say. And it's true. It's true. It's a feel good music that you can you understand what the artist is trying to relate to you in a lot of it, of course. So it's got feeling to it as well. So, tell me about some of the upcoming events that you got going on. And do you plan on maybe going more nationally on some of your performances?
Well, this year definitely sees the band, both Dr. Crue and Hysteria, doing a lot more out of state and now out of country. So Dr. Crue is playing in Oregon in July at what's called Hairfest. And
that sounds like fun.
But it's spelled like the rabbit.
Okay, gotcha.
There's a bar down there called the Wild Hare Saloon.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's actually HARE Fest. And that thing is like the Coachella. It's like the mother of all tribute festivals. It's amazing. They've got dozens of various AC/DC tribute, Scorpions, Heart. Just So we've got that, and then we're actually flying out to Indiana next month. We've got Canada.
Fantastic.
In July. We're heading up to Alaska in September, back down to Oregon in October, and then back to Seattle area at the end of the year. So we're moving around, and it's just great to see the progression of a band, because we've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, and when you see it live, you can tell it's like there's not a detail missed, and I think that's what's helped the band's trajectory has really skyrocketed by the reputation.
And it's cool. Like I said, we've done several of the tribute bands, and they're all interesting and great folks. Here's what was kind of neat is like, okay, I'm a hard rocker. I'm representing a hard rocker in this band, but I go with my suit and tie on to do a tech job or whatever, which blows my mind. That's just cool stuff. So do you have guys in your band that have some like unique, kind of, or just ordinary jobs that kind of, this is their release, this is their fun time?
Well, the funny thing is, so there would be people that will ask, hey, man, this must be all that you do. And it's like, no, we all have full-time jobs. So I'm a draftsman for an electrical engineering firm. We've got another guy that's an HR manager for a company, and another guy that's a maintenance tech for another. And none of us have to wear a suit and tie. Thank goodness. Put that monkey suit on.
There you go. Yeah.
But it is funny to again, because we look at the bands as fun.
Yeah.
If we weren't fun, we wouldn't be doing it.
Sure.
And that we get, to now play all these places in front of thousands of people. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
And I'll have coworkers come to shows, and they'll just like afterward, I'll come back on Monday, and they're like, "Dude, wow! I almost didn't even think that was you."
Yeah. Seeing a different side of you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, we recently did here in Nashville a Toto tribute band, and one of the guys in the band, one of the lead singers, actually toured with Toto in the early '80s on one of their international tours. And most of those guys, what was interesting, they do the daytime job too, but they're like studio musicians.
Yeah.
So, you think, okay, I do this for a living, and then I want to go and perform it in my free time, So it's been fantastic to see just different realms of people and how they react to wanting to do what they do.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
And it kind of comes down to the core of like you obviously love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes it even better too is the bunch of guys that we have in our band. They're just awesome dudes, and you know, we're just cracking up at rehearsal or at shows, and I mean, yeah. So you almost like you're with your best friends and doing stuff that you love. So
yeah. Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, you're going to go across the border to Canada and perform. Right. I've always wondered this. I wonder how difficult it is to, like, let's say your drummer has to take all that stuff, of course, like to get it through like customs or whatever they got to do to it. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's a headache to some of that kind of stuff. In other words, getting your show into the, to where you need it.
Right. Well, it's not the first time that both bands have been to Canada. So
okay.
Already reached that. And what happens is with a lot of these fly-in shows, they provide the entire backline, which would include a drum kit. Now, of course, it's not the actual full Tommy Lee, as an example. Drum kit with the logo drum heads and all that stuff.
Sure.
So all we're bringing basically is like a guitar each, but they've still got they've got backup gear there.
Gotcha.
And that's all part of our agent handles all that ahead of time. It's like you guys want these guys to show up in Indiana like next month. They're like, here's the tech writer. They need all this gear, and they got to put us up in a room, place.
Sure. Awesome.
But yeah, there's never been an issue when we've gone across the border. But this is our first time actually flying up there. The last couple of times we've done it, we've driven, and it's a haul. So yeah, we're flying from here on out.
There you go. Marco, we appreciate your time, and the best to you, and the safe travels and all that great stuff. We're going to keep up with what's going on, and we will also put that stuff out on our social media. Where everybody can follow you and all that good stuff. But if you'll give a shout out, what's some of the best places for folks that are listening or viewing tonight, where they can follow you guys?
Man, well, let's see, Dr. Crue Rocks. So it's DRCRUE Rocks. So drcrewrocks.com is the website. They can follow us on Facebook. We've got Instagram. And those are the best ways. I normally recommend folks check out the website because I keep that calendar is always up to date. Because depending on who's booking the event, they don't necessarily create an event for it.
Okay.
And then basically, if you pull up Motley Crue Tribute Seattle or Def Leppard Tribute Seattle, you're gonna see us. It's gonna be Dr. Crue and Hysteria. Yep.
Fantastic.
Well, thanks for your time.
Hey, Marco, appreciate you, my friend. And like I said, safe travels, and appreciate your time tonight.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right. Guys, that'll be another one in the books for us. DH, sorry you didn't get in on this one. So you may have to go solo on the next one. We'll let you take care of the controls on the next one. But, hey, school is out. So, Alice Cooper, please sing it for me, brother, because we just got another day or two left, and everybody's stir crazy, and we're ready to jump ship and get out of here. So we're ready to be in summer, that's for sure. So for DC, this is another podcast for D and D Dynamite 80s. And take care, my friends, and keep playing those 80s. All right. Take care, Marco.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.